Welcome to the episode. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast known as Blending the Family. I am your host, Tommy Maloney. Episode 167. How's that? Episode 167 with the host, Tommy Maloney. Happy. Oh, and there's a text. Hold on. Let me just take care of this text from my son Connor. I have not. Okay, there we go. Took care of that text. Where were we? Well, we were together and you were rolling your eyes going, I can't believe he took a text message while recording. How dare he? How uncouth of him. How I'm never going to listen to his podcast ever again. Oh well. Life goes on. I don't know if you can hear in the background. Otis. The day I'm recording this, by the way, is National Dog Day. So happy National Dog Day to you and your dog, our puppy Otis. Our hashtag our puppy Otis, Colorado. There you go. All right. What are we talking about? Okay. So today is tip number 2, I believe. Tip number 2 from my first book, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads, How to Create Special Memories and Grow Your Bonds with Your Children. And you will be listening to the recording I did on YouTube. So please subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to this podcast, blendingthefamily.com. The Instagram and Twitter are the same, which is Blending Family. And I will be making, hopefully, stay tuned, be making a announcement about Facebook. Or as it was originally known, the Facebook. So tip number 2 today you're going to hear me talk about is send your kids postcards or letters, even if you live in the same town. If they are just learning how to read, written notes to your kids are even better. So it helps enhance, hopefully, the ability, the wantingness of your kids to be able to read when they are receiving letters from you and postcards from you. And the little side note I put in here, Connor, I'm getting the 3 dots right now on my phone. Oh. Did I get a new phone? No. Hold on. Think about when you were a kid and received mail and how special you felt. So that's the thing. Never mind. Don't mind the last. Okay. All right. I'm just going to let Connor know. Okay. There we go. So you get to listen to the text messaging going on back and forth. And this is how he and I communicate. We're divorced, or a divorced family, so Connor doesn't live with us full time, and this is how he and I communicate. And this is pretty cool that we're doing this as I'm recording, getting messages from him. We're actually talking hockey. Was sent in green, so I was confused because that is for sending to Samsung. Yep, that is a droid thing. There we go. All right, so there we go. Super excited for you to listen to this episode, and we're just going to continue on for the next. So this is tip number 2, so I'm going to keep going throughout the book and just give tips or read the tips from the book. Okay, there you go. All right. Whew. So on and so forth. I'm trying to think what else I have to say. I really don't have a lot to say. I'm just because I say more in the what you're about to hear. So there you go. As I mentioned, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter. go to the website, blendingfamily.com. You're going to see new blog posts up consistently. I'm on Medium. The Tommy Maloney, I believe. I think at the Tommy Maloney. I think that's how Medium works. Have a few posts on there. So there you go. So constantly putting out new content somehow, some way, somewhere. Okay. And I will just say, I hope you enjoy this episode of the podcast. Again, from the book, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads. We're going to talk about tip number 2. Send your kids postcards or letters, even if you live in the same town. If they are just learning how to read, writing notes to your kids is even better. And you can get the book and our kids' coloring book, 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce, on Amazon, even though I know Amazon says the 25 Tips for Divorced Dads says it's out of stock. Send me an email, Tommy@blendingthefamily.com. That's Tommy@blendingthefamily.com. If you can't get the book, I will make arrangements for you to get the book. All right. Thanks for listening. As Terry Crews would say, and I go even more detail on what you're about to hear. But as Terry Crews would say, your success is my success. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing, caring, downloading, and all that other fun stuff. Hello, welcome. My name's Tommy Maloney. Welcome to Blending the Family. If you're watching this on YouTube or catching us on Instagram, this is why I don't do a lot of videos. I do have a face for podcasting. Those of you listening on the podcast, thank you. Again, Tommy Maloney. And how can you reach me? Thanks for asking. Behind me, over my shoulder here, in really bad handwriting, you can see that it's really bad handwriting. The first one, this is why I'm not a weatherman. I don't do the green screen type thing. I don't even do green screen on Zoom here. Anyway, the first one is the website, blendingthefamily.com. Then we have on Instagram, Blending Family on Instagram. Also on the Twitter, the same thing, Blending Family. Welcome to YouTube, Blending the Family. And subscribe. Thank you for coming by. All right, this is episode 167. Video and audio morph into the podcast. And today we're going to talk about, from my first book, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads. For those who are watching, you can see I'm holding up the book. Those who are listening, pretend that you are picturing, and if you're driving, don't close your eyes doing this. I don't want to hear that. Anyway, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads, that was my first book. I do also want to mention we do have a kids coloring book called 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce. This young man is a senior in high school. This young lady is now a freshman in college. Wow, time flies. If you've been reading my blogs of lately, you'll see that I'm going through some stress. I'm working on, there's another blog piece that's either out by the time I recorded this. I don't know. I'm just here trying to give you some content. But empty nesters. My wife and I are now empty nesters, and part-time, sort of, kind of. Read the blog, because that's on the website, blendingthefamily.com. Again, for those who are watching, I am not a weatherman. All right. There's the logo. All right. Over my other shoulder. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun watching this and going, I see why he does a podcast and not video. Anyway, 25 Tips for Divorced Dads is the name of the book. How to create special memories and grow your bonds with your children. Tip number two from my book. Send your kids postcards or letters, even if you live in the same town. If they are just learning how to read, written notes to your kids are even better. And then I put a little side note in the book. Think about when you were a kid and received mail and how special you felt. This past summer, I did that. I actually wrote a letter to my son, Connor. And part of it was because we had not seen a lot of him. He was working 3 jobs, and he and I are very similar when it comes to the telephone or the cell phone or the mobile. The we don't like talking on the phone. We're a little bit strange in that aspect. We'll actually spend more time texting each other than actually talking on the phone, and that's our relationship. Okay, your relationship might be different. For example, my wife, with my 2 bonus daughters, consistently, the 3 of them are on the phone talking, and so that's beautiful. For me, I wrote a letter to him. I just wanted to just say how much I missed him, how much I'm proud of him. His efforts of working 3 jobs are just as a dad. It was my dad proud daddy moment. So again, because he was working so much, we did not get the opportunity to see a lot of him. So therefore, and as I jokingly say with my wife, forthwith, I wanted to find another way to reach out to him, to connect with him. And so, well, let me just say, I didn't write the letter. I typed the letter. Okay. For those of you who are watching, this is the international sign of typing. Moving your fingers like you're typing. Because I will admit, I have really bad handwriting. And I just want to take a side note. This is me to you parents. If your kids know how to type, don't hammer them about their handwriting, okay? There are more important things to worry about in life. So, for example, letting them know that you have open dialogue, that you have a environment that is open and honest. So, an example would be if you have older teenagers and you tell them, if you ever find yourself in a situation you do not feel comfortable with, no questions asked, you call me. You call me, and I will be there to pick you up, no matter what time, no matter where it is. Okay? That's part of parenting, is having the trust with our kids and having, again, open and honest dialogue. So back to the letter, I really wanted to just uh, have a heartfelt conversation with the way I can, and that is through a letter. And actually, I wrote my grandmother a letter too. I was like, I love my grandmother, and she taught me, and I'm trying to do better at this. I'm trying to write more letters. Again, using the international sign of typing. I prefer typing letters because, again, the handwriting is horrible. Horrible. Anyway, so there you go. So from the I'm not editing that out. From the book 25 Tips for Divorced Dads, that is tip number 2. And let's repeat what tip number 2 is. Thanks for asking. Send your kids postcards or letters, even if you live in the same town. If they're just learning how to read, written notes to your kids are even better. When my son Connor was first learning how to read, I did that. And that's where this idea came from. I would, on Sundays, this one company I worked for, on Sundays, I flew from Denver International Airport to LaGuardia Airport. And the first thing I would do after I got off the plane was book to the gift shop and buy 5 postcards. And I already had stamps. So throughout the week, I would be mailing him postcards, and he still has those postcards. And then just remember, think about when you were a kid and received mail and how special you felt. And that's what it is. It's about letting them feel special, letting them receive something. You know, we live in a time now where, like I said, for my son and I, it's easier to text. And again, that's how we communicate. But at the same time, how nice is it to receive a letter from somebody, a heartfelt letter? something that out of the blue. Okay. There you go. So again, blendingfamily.com. On Instagram and Twitter, it's Blending Family. Here on the YouTube, if you're watching, you already know it's Blending the Family. And subscribe. Here, let me step out of the way. Oh, Otis, our dog Otis was right underneath me. Oh, he's now behind me. Subscribe. Okay. As my mentor, and let me just do a caveat. You can have mentors that you have not met. You can have mentors that are not alive. My mentor, whenever I end the podcast, is your success is my success. And I got that from an interview with Terry Crews, hearing Terry Crews being interviewed. And I firmly believe it. As parents, we consistently judge other parents. Let's be honest. Let's be real here. We do. They might have, a better home. They might have, the better food. But if they're really good parents and your kids are spending time with their kids, their success is going to be your kid's success. And I believe this wholeheartedly. So if you're creating a business, if you're doing something that's putting a dent in this universe, maybe something I said today helped you or sparked something. So like I said, your success is my success. Take care.